Guys, welcome back to another episode, another Monday Night Racing Pro Series recap show. I'm Brandon Hauff. That's Michael Massie. And this week, our special guest is Ford Martin, the owner of Monday Night Racing. How's it going, Ford?
Good, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, no problem. Glad to have you. We'll jump right to it. Now, this week, we're going to mention, we were talking about this off camera. We're going to mention who won the race. Corey Heim, in his first ever Monday Night Racing start, won after a lot of chaos, I guess you could say. We'll let Mike and Ford both talk about their races and all. I'll start with you, Mike.
First, I will say, Corey Heim winning in his debut is no surprise at all.
No.
The guy, I honestly think he's one of the best prospects in all of NASCAR. I don't know if you guys disagree or not, but yeah, just a really cool addition to the league. Yeah, good get there, Ford.
Yeah.
Yeah, it came together pretty late. I know he's been trying to join for a while, so we were really excited to have him in. So I think he's going to try and join a couple more races. He's not eligible for the playoffs, but we're glad to have him a part of us, though.
Yeah, it's cool to have just another big name like that just draws some eyes to the league. But yeah, so my race last night, we did Xfinity cars at Charlotte.
Forgot to mention that.
Yeah, and I had a lot of fun. The race went 73 laps, green flag to start, and that was awesome, man. It was we had some green flag pit stops. So my deal was at the start of that first run, I just let some people just took care of my tires, let guys go, and then after 20 laps, I came back by them. They burned their stuff up, so it was like my kind of race there at the start. Then we got to about time for a pit stop, and somebody abruptly pitted right in front of Brandon Brown, and he moves up the track, forces me up into the wall. It wasn't his fault. It was just reaction. So I pitted there, took a little bit of optional repair and lost a lap. But when I came back out, I was right there, behind Leighton in fifth place, and just hung out there. And it was honestly the fastest I've felt all year in this league. So that was pretty cool. Then we had some funky wave around stuff when that first caution finally did happen. So I stayed out there as a lot of other people did, and we took the wave around, which I like that new rule, by the way, where we cut out the unlimited free passes for this week, and it's more like what NASCAR does. So you have to stay out when the leaders pit to get a wave around. So yeah, and it ended up we all got to pit anyways. So got back on the lead lap and got 4 fresh tires. But I don't know, that's another discussion for another time. So then once that first caution came out, though, the cautions kind of started breeding more cautions, and I had a situation where it was Charlie Brown on my inside, it's Roger Caruth behind me, and when you got 2 cars side by side, you're kind of going a little slower, and it was loose as is, so it didn't take a whole lot, but Raj gave me a little knock to the rear end, and it sent me down into Charlie and back up into Raj, and I went to the moon.
I noticed that.
It was funny on the podium broadcast. They said I was cleared for takeoff from the Charlotte airport there. But yeah, so fast repair gone, lost 2 laps, getting towed. I thought the race was over, but got more cautions kept coming out. I got 2 free passes from that. So it was just enough to give me that glimmer of hope, right? If I just stayed 2 laps down, it had almost been better. And I was moving up. I was top 25, I think, is where I'd gotten into. And then it was just a track clearing wreck. The track, it was just the track was blocked. I stomped the brakes, and it just skidded right into Matt Stalkneck. I don't think he was too happy with me. It looks like I ARCA braked him, but I promise I was trying to stop. I feel bad that I got into him, but There's nothing malicious, nothing. It was just complete accident. But if he wants to bump me or anything next week, then I don't care. He can do it. He's a good guy. I like Matt a lot. But yeah, so then that was pretty much it for it. And I noticed right at the end, our guest there got by me for 31st place as I was sitting on pit road. I think that's what it was. You got 31st, I got 32nd. Not a great finish for either of us, huh?
No, it definitely wasn't. Not the finish that the '07 Nash Collection Chevrolet for Crypto Autosport was looking for. But yeah, we had felt good on speed practice. I think I believe we were 10th in practice. Felt pretty good about it. Just unfortunately, just kind of didn't have the greatest qualifying lap. Probably went a little too hard with it. And then ended up where I think it was behind Devin Henry. Started 22nd. It was already up to 15th. Was going for 14th. And I think Devin got a little tight on exit. And then hit the wall, and I hit him pretty square in the back. And then I noticed a couple laps later that my water was pegging 300. So I ended up having to come down pit road, use a fast repair, go a lap down. Was able to, take the wave around, get a couple laps, get my lap back. And then on a restart, later in the race, we got back up from what we were in 37th. Got back up to run like 18th. And on the restart, everybody checked up. And I got hit from the back into Reed Wilson. And then I had to take my 8 minutes required. Luckily, we had just enough laps remaining to go from 39th, 32nd, or 31st, because all the big ones that happened. But it is kind of, I'm honestly, I don't get mad about it anymore. It's been kind of luck that I've had this season. I've had top 15 speed, just whether it's being third on the final restart at Talladega and get wrecked by Fern or something else. It feels like it's something happens every week. So it's all good. It's part of it. We're just more excited about the league doing well, and we think that it's doing that right now.
Yeah, I don't know about you, Ford, but like in the moment, I'm so mad, and then like,
trust me too. Like,
it's like
I think a lot of people are just based on the voice chat. I think you kind of hear that.
But it's like an hour later, maybe even if that, I'm like, why am I so mad? Like, this is fun. I'm doing this for fun. Somebody wrecking me has no impact like on my life. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's just funny how like heated we all get in there in the chat and stuff like that. But the next day we're all buddies again.
And that's what it comes down to. I mean, we gotta remember Brad Perez says it constantly. It's a free video game. Maybe it's not too free, but it's essentially a free video game. And we're all here. We're all competitors. A couple guys have some egos, and that's okay. You're going to have that with this group, but this really is a good group. We'll have a lot of good people that come together that really enjoy what we do here in motorsports. We're excited about, the guys we've added. We got Zach Osborne about to come in here in the group here in the next week or so. That's going to race with us. Supercross driver, obviously Corey Heim joined us last night. Just the amount of guys that we've had that join us, and we're all competitors. We all want to win. And we really do have a good group of guys together, because they might be mad as bad as some guys were after Gateway. The next day, everyone's, cutting up and having a good time. And that's what all matters. And I think we have a league unlike any other where, some people just get up and just leave. And what we've built and the foundation that we've built with M&R, we're now able to, the guys are all friends with each other, and we're over by the next day.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, and your lecture to all us drivers worked for the most part, it seemed. Ford gave us all, I don't even know if I should be saying this publicly or not. He gave us drivers a lecture about crashing too much at Gateway. And then we had a long green flag run. You mentioned 73 laps there.
I legit thought you guys were going to go caution free. Like I was betting on it after about 70 laps. I'm like, there's only 50 to go. I'm like, are you guys actually going to make it? And then that one caution came. I forgot what actually the first caution was, but I was like, I'm like, here we go. We're probably going to start with like 3 or 4 cautions in a row. And then you guys will probably go like 10 laps green to the end, and then maybe a green, white, checkered, but it's part of it. I thought the race was good though, watching it,
Yeah.
I think overall it was a good race. I did give the guys a little bit of a lecture in the chat, but that we need to clean it up. We Did the M&R leadership team, me, Paul Sutton, Matt Stolnick, DJ Cummings, Dakota Curtis, the guys at Podium with Gary Sexton, Ryan Bauer, Jacob Pitts, McCandless, Ken Bueno, all these guys, we really worked together. I mean, Josh Mendoza, all these guys, we've been trying to figure out exactly what the best moves are going forward, because we really care about this league. And I think you'll see across different leagues, and I don't want to speak for them, but sometimes the owners of the league won't care. They're just like, hey, it's my way or the highway. But we really want to work collectively as a group and make sure that what we're doing is we're putting on a good product, because nobody wants to watch eye pacing constantly. We don't want to watch us under caution the whole time. And I think that I believe that we have done a good job working with our drivers and making sure our drivers know that they can communicate with us without feeling as if, they don't have a voice. We want each one of our guys to have a voice. I think the first part of the race at Charlotte was great. It was good racing, not great for me, but for the product itself, I thought it was an outstanding race from the get-go. And we did have a couple cautions here and there. I think besides that one restart and the big one that we had in 1 and 2, I thought overall it was a pretty clean race. There's just some things where guys would just get a little loose and they would hang on and save it, and then it would create a stack up. And it's one of those things. But overall, I thought it was a good race. I thought the guys did a great job. They all had fun. I think only maybe Bigford and Colin Fern were mad at each other, but other than that, it was a good race last night. I enjoyed it, and I think a lot of people did too.
Colin mad at somebody? Never heard of that before.
I don't think anybody's heard of that before.
No, never. But that's a good segue into what we're going to talk about next. So Ford, Monday Night Racing's been around now, I think 2 years, right? Just a little over 2 years.
Yep. May of 2020.
Yep. So kind of talk about the origins of the league, what your background is in motorsports. I know you yourself, you've been around motorsports a long time. It hasn't just been with Monday Night Racing. I know your family's involved. Just kind of talk about, your background and history and what you currently do and everything. So go ahead, Mike's all yours.
Yeah, so I work at Fox Sports as a digital content producer. I've been doing it now since I graduated in May of 2018 from High Point University. And now I think I got my job the following January. So January 2019, I've been at Fox Sports as a digital content producer. So I cover everything from the app, do highlights, create stuff with Larry McReynolds, our McReynolds Rundown show that we post weekly on the app and YouTube. Work with some great folks here at Fox. They do an awesome job helping with me on the digital side. I'm the only person really on the digital team that does like this type of content. I work with the two social guys, and Josh Richter and CJ Wolliver, that do a great job, and obviously work with the production team. So it's been an awesome story to get here. Obviously, my dad was a crew chief. He was Gil Martin. Was a crew chief for multiple years with Kevin Harvick, did Clint Boyer, Robbie Gordon, multiple different drivers through his time at Richard Childress Racing. He's helping out some of the guys at Silver Hair Racing, currently in the Trans Am series, just here every now and then, just because he kind of has that racing itch still. And obviously he'll tell me some things I should be doing on my iRacing side of things about how I'm running races. Oh, maybe I can get up on the virtual box to kind of help me out with some of the luck I've had this past season. But like I said, I grew up in the garage. Everybody in the garage area was my babysitter. My math tutor was Jeremy Bolins, who is now the crew chief for Austin Cindric. He was my math tutor. And boy, did he piss me off a lot of times. I think there was one time we were at Dover and I was a kid, and he gave me some math homework and he wanted me to get everything right. And I think if I missed like 2 or 3, he would make me redo everything and all the formulas over again, but it'd be like different formulas. And the race was starting and I'm trying to go out to the pit box. Well, one time I just could not get it right. And then finally, I think I got the last one right. And I think during a competition caution, Jeremy looks at my homework and he's like correcting it and looking it over during the middle of a race. And he's like, all right, you're good. And he allowed me to stay in the pit box because right after the national anthem, he sent me back to the holler to keep doing it.
That's awesome.
So that was
what was his job?
I was now remembering the story. Like I totally forgot about the story, but now that I'm talking about it, I remember it.
What was his job at the time?
He was my dad's engineer for the 29. And actually, no, I'm sorry. This is when they were at Clint Boyer, okay. I believe, on the 07, which is why I drive the 07 and M&R. But yeah, he he was my tutor, and I love him to death. He still has been great with me, and I've gone to him for a lot of help on some stuff through college. But Jeremy was great, and that's kind of how I grew up in the area. Like, everybody was my babysitter. They were all my best friends, and that's part's been it's been awesome.
So we got to pull out some math problems for you for some of these M&R races.
Oh, please God, no. No.
If you want to
I'm already bad enough trying to figure out fuel strategy on the hand. I'm not sure if you want to get me to do that.
So just tell everyone, if you want to wave around, you got to solve X equals whatever. But,
well, I'm going to I should basically, if I go a lap down, I'm screwed the rest of the race.
I feel the same way. I've been in school in 5 years, and I haven't taken a math class in probably like, I don't know, 8. So I'd be screwed in that case.
Same. But yeah, and the cool thing about Ford's, being at Fox is you brought in some pretty cool people to be in the booth for podium with some different Fox people and MRN people, things like that. We had Adam Alexander, Darrell Waldrop, Larry McReynolds himself. Who else we have?
Yeah.
So Alex Hayden.
We've had Alex Hayden a couple times. And kind of going back a little bit to your first question about how M&R originated is obviously being at Fox with these guys, I've built stronger relationships, but I've known Adam Alexander, Darrell Waldrop, Larry McReynolds since I was a kid. So I've kind of grew up in, like I said, I grew up in the garage and I was able to meet them. But that's kind of really, me being at Fox, what I was able to, I did a lot of these iRacing segments we hear with the iRacing simulator before COVID started. And we did more and more of them. And I started putting some features together for it. Well, then afterwards, when COVID hit, I was asked to actually help assist with the Pro Invitational series. And funny enough, like, the whole Pro Invitational idea sort of came from me, because I pitched it to our people at Fox that, hey, like, I really think that we should do a series. Let's get a bunch of NASCAR drivers. Obviously, I didn't think it would get, like, I'm not talking the scale it got to, but I thought we should get a lot of Cup guys together and race. Like, as soon as they found out Atlanta was canceled, we should have something for this Sunday. Put something on. Maybe it's streamed. I didn't know much about the sim racing community at that time. I just thought it'd be something cool we can put together. And obviously, I think they took the idea and turned it into something awesome, which they did a great job of. And then I was thinking of, like, really, I wish we could do more of this, do more of these leagues. So I got iRace and started doing more of it. Found out about a league where the Big Green Egg Medium Mayhem Madness by Rob D'Amico, which I believe, Massie, is where I first met you. I believe you racing that event. And it started into where we just, I think the next couple weeks, I want to take a lot of those motorsports people that were in that race and bring them into our own league, which formerly was called Monday Night NASCAR, obviously now Monday Night Racing. And it just turned into one thing led to another. We tried to do all these different combos. And I really think the motorsports community loved our idea of all switching these rotations and doing these Pro 4 trucks at Watkins Glen, Radicals at Texas, Miatas at Daytona, switching it around, because everybody's so used to doing the Xfinity cars at Texas, the Cup cars at Vegas, the trucks at Michigan. Everyone's so used to that. We want to try some new things and different combos that people come on and enjoy and have fun with. And one thing led to another. A couple of guys want to join, got a couple of NASCAR drivers and people that we invited. I believe our first race, we had Regan Smith and Bobby Labonte and Jagger Jones, a former K&N driver. And one thing just kind of led to another. And we turned into something huge. We couldn't do it without all of our supporters. And obviously, DJ Cummings, I went to college with him. We were friends. We weren't close friends. And then once he joined the league, now he's like one of my best friends. And same thing with Matt Solnick. Didn't even know the guy. And then he came on in season 2, and I think DJ worked with him at NASCAR and invited him to our Discord channel. I was like, I'm not sure because I met going back at Ron Capps through all this. And like, I'm not sure, like, where do you have too many people on our Discord channel already? Like, I don't want to make Caps oh, great, more fans. I'm going to drive away. I was trying to be mindful of him. Best decision we ever had, because Matt is, one of my best friends too. Like him and DJ they're awesome. And we now Matt started creating some ideas, and he's one of the smartest guys I know from a business standpoint. I've learned a lot of things from him on a couple of different things, and just how we're just talking with whether it's being sponsors or just anybody in general. Just like he's offered me a lot of advice on how to handle these situations. And DJ with his background from competition and some stuff at the website, and we kind of all learn from each other. So I feel like it's just about any iRacing story. You meet some good friends, and that's exactly what we've done. And here we are, kind of just being the M&R leadership team, kind of leading ourselves in the right direction. And got a couple big announcements coming up. Obviously, we had the championship race last season that was live, which was awesome. And I don't know, maybe you might see it again here this season.
You're more than welcome to break news on the show here.
It won't be the first time.
We don't have anything official, but I can say the plan is to have a live championship event this season, and possibly more.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
If we have that again, I'm going down to it. That looked like so much fun, man.
It really was. It was such an awesome event altogether, and we really couldn't do without the great people at the Charlotte Phoenix and the Carolina Esports Hub. I mean, they were the guys that kind of helped lead Matt, DJ, and I, and the entire podium team in the right direction. Gary Sexton did a great job. He sacrificed him racing the event to produce the event. Gary did a great job. Ryan Bauer, his preparation, everybody just put a collective effort into putting this as the first live event iRacing event, and it turned to be a huge success. It was just about a sellout. We had to I know it sounds cliche, but like we had to turn people away at the door just because we told them, hey, you get to buy tickets before you come, and the place is so packed already. We're like, look, I'm sorry, we don't have any more tickets left, because the place was so packed. And obviously we'd be mindful of restrictions on COVID and at the time, as far as how many people we could have in the building, but just it was just an awesome event together. The Charlotte Phoenix guys are so professional, they're so easy to work with, and just what they're doing with esports right now is truly unbelievable. James Bickford and those guys, CJ Collins, like those guys are on top of it, and they want to grow simulated stock car racing in the esports community, and they've done an awesome job with that.
Yeah, if you told me 3 years ago that there would be that many people trying to watch people play a free video game, I thought you were crazy. But now it's a reality. When did you actually start sim racing?
Well, if you want to count like EA Sports and the total team controls and the
everybody
ups, and that was my jam. I love doing that stuff. That was great. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I remember those times. I am able to use the Fox simulator here that I do my Monday night racing events on. But when I go home, I have an older setup that I race at home, like some night races that I do, some money races or different things that I'll compete on. I got that rig. It has the 07 and DirecTV stickers on it. And my dad and help from Jeremy Bolins, they helped build me a rig when I was 13. I am still on the same rig that I was when I was 13. I think, like the wheel almost feels like it's about to fall apart or sometimes, but I still have the same rig, wheel and pedals, Logitech G29. It's an old one, but it gets the job done from when I'm racing at home and for emergencies. And just overall, it's been a long time. So I'll probably say since I was like as little as I can be, whether it's being on my Game Boys or anything, but actually iRacing itself, it really just started in May of 2020, and here we are. Still can't even win my own league.
It's coming, don't worry. We'll make the show be good luck.
I could definitely use it for this week because I got one race left for the playoffs.
Well, there you go. Now, yeah, speaking of that, you guys got one race left. Michigan Trucks, right, in 2 weeks, because you guys are off for the 4th next week. What are the expectations? Who do we think is going to be good? What are we feeling? Mike, I'll start with you.
Oh, man, it's tough to say. I don't know. I could see Adam Cabot finally like pulling through, making a statement win before he tries to repeat for the title. But yeah, that's gonna be a fun race. I think I'm gonna have to miss that one. I'll be on vacation that week, but
Boo.
I don't know. We'll see what can happen. But yeah, what do you think, Ford?
It's going to be tough. There's a lot of good guys in this field as we get ready to go into the playoffs. I think we've seen it the past 2 seasons, and Raja Caruth has always came in clutch in the regular season finale. He won. I think we ran Xfinity Chicago, the regular season finale, the past 2 seasons. He won one season where he was like, I think, 20th in points. And last season, he had to finish in the top 3, and he finished second. So I think if he's had some bad luck this season, but I think Raja always does well in the playoffs when it comes with his back against the wall. I think he gets to win this weekend or next weekend or whenever we race again, and Michigan with the trucks. But I think as the playoffs go and coming down to it, I think right now you're looking at your championship 4 being Anthony Alfredo, Presley Sora. I would even throw in he's been getting hot late, David Schildhouse, and I'm going to go on a limb here, and I think your 4th member of the championship 4 is going to be Nick Olson. I think he's really been on a tear, showing his speed and what he's capable of, and I think that's going to be your championship 4 that's on the stage here as we get on August 29th.
That makes me feel good being on the roof for Nick.
Yeah, Brandon's his spotter.
I spot Nick every week.
I think he's been on a good tear lately, and I really hate I'm saying this because I'm going to make his head even bigger than it already is.
Oh, stop, don't.
No, but I'm saying I really think he's going to be in the championship 4. He's done well. He's done a good job, and in the last 2 weeks finishing second, I think he's getting hot at the right time, and I believe momentum is a huge thing in sports, and he's definitely, him and Schildhouse got a lot of momentum. But I think of those 2, I think I'm going to put Nick ahead of David.
Yeah, it looked like they were split second last night. Like Nick was gonna catch Corey and pass him for the win. But that was still a good run for him to get second place last night for sure. So
for where he started? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He was all the way back in like what 30, I think he was like 32nd after he had the pit under green. And then he drove his way. Well, he missed that big wreck on the front stretch on the restart. And then he got back up to second. But yeah, he ran a good race. If I had to pick a winner, maybe I'm a little biased, but I'm going to go with Robbie Lyons. Why? Because he's won the championship before. I know he loves the truck on iRacing. And I just think, he has to get a win. He's not in the playoffs as of now. And being a past champion of the league, I know he knows how to win. And I know he knows what he's doing in this league. So, and I know he's had a lot of bad luck as well. And I think he's just due for something good. So I'm going to go with Robbie.
Yeah, for sure. Good pick there. Yeah, you're not kidding about that bad luck
no, he
last week he should have had top 5 and then got spun on the last lap or something like that. Yeah, so he definitely is due a good run. But yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, these guys will be back in action in 2 weeks, or a little less than 2 weeks now, because it is Tuesday. So the 11th of July, Michigan Trucks, 8 p.m. Eastern, Podium Esports. So we thank Ford for joining us tonight. Great having him on. Great hearing a little bit of his background and how M&R kind of came to be. But anyway, I'm Brandon Hauff. That's Michael Massie, Ford Martin. We will see you guys around.